Hello YouTube, Professor Cadre here. Welcome to Maintenance 102, Deep Cleaning.
Yeah, I'm curious about this myself.
Routine cleaning after every smoke will prevent most problems, but eventually every pipe benefits from a more thorough cleaning. Deep cleaning removes accumulated oils and residue that regular pipe cleaners don't reach, helps restore cleaner smoke and extend the life of the pipe. Today we're going to discuss when to deep clean, what you'll need, and how to do it right. So every pipe is different as far as when it needs a deep clean. When I first started, I did it every 6 months with my collection, but my collection is now far too large for that to be
Right, you're not going through
practical.
as
I'm
many
not.
miles on each
Yeah,
pipe.
exactly. So it's not. My recommendation is on an as-needed basis. Some common signs would be a sour or bitter taste, and one that's from bowl to bowl, not just maybe one bowl you had a little bit of accumulation on the bit there.
Sure, yeah.
Regular maintenance might solve that problem, but if you get a couple bowls in a row, there's persistent gurgling. You're really struggling with airflow. Despite thoroughly cleaning out the tobacco chamber.
I had an interesting one myself this week. So I just sort of did not a deep cleaning, but I cleaned the rim of this,
Mm.
and it looks pretty much new now. But I was smoking it, and I think this all was kind of like this matte, sort of gummy look, which I guess was almost like a tar buildup or like a resiny, like almost like a
Yeah,
cake that
yeah,
had formed out here. But I didn't know that, and I think I took a pipe cleaner to it because I got some ash on it, and it looked like it was scratching what I thought was the wood. I didn't realize that it was that. So I went to go wipe it off, and I'm getting more indents, and it's like I'm drawing on it with
right.
my fingernail, and I'm like, like is it really that cheap? Did the whole thing kind of come undone? And then I'm like, all right, let me get a paper towel and put a little bit of rubbing alcohol in it, and I just took that and went around this like this, came back good as new, but I thought that it was the wood that I was ruining. I thought it was the bowl itself,
Right.
and actually it wasn't charring, it wasn't anything. It was just
Some
gunk.
kind of residue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, Another sign for when to deep clean would be related to residue. If it continues to appear on pipe cleaners after your normal cleaning, if you just like are going through cleaner after cleaner after cleaner, and they're still coming out with some gunk, then that might be time for a deep clean to just remove that all
Yeah.
and come out with the clean pipe cleaner. It's no fixed schedule. Just clean when the pipe tells you it needs it. Like most tools, they're communicative with you if you let them.
Yeah. I think for me as someone that I'm happy to learn about this because, I felt comfortable just taking a tiny bit of rubbing alcohol on the tip of a paper towel and going around the rim because
Mm-hmm.
I'm not getting it inside the bowl. And I just wanted to see what happened. I figured whatever, it wasn't an expensive pipe anyway. Um, and I remember reading at one time that a little bit of alcohol is okay sometimes. But I think that's what people are afraid of. Like, at least me, I'm like, I don't want to do it wrong. I don't want to ruin the pipe and I don't want to make it taste bad forever. So, what are the recommended ways?
Mm. Uh, like for
Yeah, how do you deep clean? That's
yeah,
what I want to learn. Yeah.
yeah. So for most deep cleanings, you're going to need pipe cleaners. Uh, Ideally, bristle pipe cleaners as well. You'd probably benefit from some cotton swabs. I'd recommend a high-proof drinking alcohol. I don't think you did anything wrong with the
Right.
alcohol that you used necessarily, especially since it didn't go into the bowl of the pipe. But I just prefer an alcohol that's meant for drinking. You definitely don't want to be using something like denatured alcohol, or
Right.
like a chemical that you'd be using in a shop. You want to keep it to like your kind of household items. So I recommend a high proof alcohol, Everclear or similarly proof things from other manufacturers. Probably need a small container or dish, some soft cloths or paper towels, and just always work carefully. Avoid getting alcohol in the pipe's exterior finish because it could strip it. Typical deep cleaning would involve allowing the pipe to cool completely. You don't want to be doing this after you have a smoke.
Okay.
Um, Carefully disassembling the pipe. Clean the airway with an alcohol moistened pipe cleaners. Clean the mortise and the draft hole with cotton swabs. I like to go with the alcohol dip pipe cleaners as well. You repeat until they come out nearly clean. You're trying to remove residue, not introduce alcohol to
Alcohol,
the
right?
pipe. So you just go until they come out nearly clean. Finish up with some non-alcohol pipe cleaners. Dry it up. Allow any remaining alcohol to evaporate completely. Ideally, you'd let it rest overnight, but at least a few hours.
Yeah, I think if you dry it right, I mean, if you have something that's you're not soaking the pipe in alcohol where it's getting
Right.
into every pore. If you have a cotton swab or a pipe cleaner, and I guess you're touching alcohol to that surface to break up the residues, and then you get it dry, it evaporates very quickly. It's not penetrating
Yeah, it
deeply into the
does.
pores.
It does.
You're
Yeah.
not ruining the pipe.
Yeah. Reassemble when the pipe is dry. Some common mistakes: using excessive alcohol, soaking the bowl, forcing the stem apart while the pipe is warm, aggressive scrubbing inside the chamber. You might do more than disturb your cake. You may end up, scratching the briar in the bowl. Um, Deep cleaning more often than necessary. It's something I found that's not as necessary as you might think
Yeah.
early on in the hobby. Um, it's restorative maintenance, not something that should be done after every X smokes.
Yeah, I think probably I would imagine that a decent rule of thumb too is if your cake is starting to get built up to the point where it's too much, it's probably about time for a deep cleaning too.
Yeah, we're at the point where you would intervene on your cake.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
If you,
yeah, that could be a good
I mean,
time.
how
You're gonna
bad can it
be
be if the cake is only a little bit,
right.
you know?
If you're gonna be sitting down working with the pipe anyway, you spend a little bit extra time with some pipe cleaners. You might, you know,
Have you ever
get
experienced
some better
this? I just
smokes.
did something about it myself, but the cake on this was actually building up pretty quickly. So I kind of just, but there was a little bit of a place where if this is the cake, there was almost like a hollowed out little chip.
Yeah.
And I just ended up kind of smoothing it out, sort of reaming out to sort of even it with my pipe tool. But, what do you do in that situation? Is that even a big deal?
I don't think it's a big deal. I would just keep smoking it, let the cake build up in there.
Yeah.
Eventually, I don't think
It'll
you're gonna
eventually
have
even
too
out.
much of an even. Like you're not gonna have as even of a coating as you had
Right. Before
with
that.
the initial before you smoked your first bowl.
Right.
Um, but yeah, like sometimes maybe pipe mud you're talking about a later stage in the cake process, but not for your particular
Yeah.
case.
I was surprised how quickly this thing built up some cake, though.
Once you get that initial layer, it does. I have noticed it does start
Build
to
up
build
quick.
up really
Yeah.
quite quick. So especially with your pipe rotation relative to mine, you're smoking each pipe a lot more than I'm
Yeah.
smoking each pipe.
Exactly.
Deep cleaning is one of the simplest ways to keep a pipe performing its best. Combined with the routine maintenance and occasional deep cleaning can help preserve flavor, improve airflow, extend the life of your pipe for many years. For a complete start to finish demonstration, be sure to watch the accompanying Maintenance 102 lab video. Until next time, thanks for watching.